Yo, it's time to hit the play button. Got questions and answers, but probably sudden. I'm pretty sure I have no clue, but that's how we roll, we're breaking through. I'm pretty sure I have no idea, but we keep it fun, yeah, we keep it clear. Tune in now, let's start the show, with laughs and shouts and the knowledge flow.
How was your week?
Pretty good. I took off Monday, so I had that plan of what I was going to do Monday, and I woke up Monday morning and I kind of felt like a piece of shit from the day before, just like I didn't accomplish anything. It was, just lived a carefree day, and I was like, I can't do that today.
Yeah.
So it was like I just did all my normal Monday stuff, tried to put my life back together.
Sure.
So
how'd you feel Monday morning? You felt rough?
okay.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good by any means, but we drank beer all day long.
Yeah.
But it was like a beer an hour for 15 hours.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like there's no point where I was like, I'm fucking drunk or anything like that. But you're always just like kind of on that edge the entire day, which is fine. That's like whenever we do go on those, whenever we go do the Tough Mudder or whatever and go out for the day, that's kind of how my day usually goes too.
Yeah.
It's massive physical activity followed by 15 hours of just a beer an hour for that amount.
Yeah.
And I would like to keep it at that pace usually.
That seems like it's much more easily recoverable than, 15 beers in 4 hours where you're just hammered and then you wake up feeling like a bag of shit.
Well, the first time we went to Notre Dame and we were on the, I remember being way drunker than I wanted to be. Just riding, if we would have drove the scooters back, I probably would have had a head injury.
Sure.
Just based on, I was like, I can't. And I was carrying a 12-pack back from the thing. I was like, dude, can we not ride the scooters? Because it's not going to turn out good for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I got pretty hammered there too, pretty quick. The Notre Dame. We stayed up late though. Is that the one where we
Guac shots?
Yeah, guac shots. Yeah. Yeah,
yep,
that was
guac shots.
I think we're up till 2 a.m. or some shit.
Yeah, and night. I think we ate at that barbecue place at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it started it started immediately after the race, basically.
Yeah.
Do you like barbecue?
I like barbecue. I went to when I went down to Austin, I ate at
you got beef ribs down there, is that what you said?
Yeah, which are
fucking beef ribs are awesome.
They're good. I was so surprised at the cost. So we were buying everything. What was it? Terry Black's barbecue is where we went. So we got a family pack or something. It was 6 of us. And then we you get a family pack for $2.99 or something, which gives you this selection of meats, this selection of sides, and then we added on top of that. Jack gets up there and he's like, he's like, let's do beef ribs. And I'm like, sure. He's like, I'll take 2 of those, and they're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're $100 a rib.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
The fucking Flintstone bone shits.
It's so heavy.
Yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
It was good.
Though. Yeah, for sure.
But that was rough. So then we ate a bunch. It was 100 degrees out. We go there. We eat outside.
Oh, yeah. So you're just sweating out grease essentially.
Yeah. Well, and then when you eat too much meat, it's not digesting.
Yeah.
You just feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we got way too much, and we felt obligated to keep eating.
Sure. And so you had a fridge this big in your hotel room for dinosaur bones of meat.
Yeah. So we ate that, and then I'm glad we did it the first night. Right when we got there, we went and got that.
Sure. You knock it off the bucket list right off the bat. Because it
shuts you down.
Yeah.
You're done. You're like, I'm not drinking. I'm not doing anything.
Sure. That happened. Well, I brought it up because that's what happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
We went to Dave Allen's. It's in McGuanago.
Okay.
I'd never been there before. A friend of mine from work brought it up, and it said it was people from out of town come here to go to this place.
Okay.
Oh, all right. So we went to the YMCA yesterday, then went there afterwards. It was really good. It's a pretty decent price too.
Okay.
Me and Evie split a 4 meat thing, 4 meat combo. So you got 2 ribs, 2 briskets, and then 2 sides and cornbread, and that was $45.
That's not bad.
But no, for you and your family could split what we ate.
Okay.
Like the whole thing, and maybe get an appetizer. You'd be all good for like that price.
Sure.
Plus, they got a bunch of beer on tap there too. So
okay, what was it called?
What did I say?
David
David Allen Allen's.
David Allen Allen's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just another. There's no like barbecue place around here.
No. And well, I've attempted to go to like what's the chain barbecue place? Famous Dave's. It's like I've had.
I don't think that's around here anymore. Is
no. In the Dells, there's one.
Yeah.
Which I think the first time I ate there was in the Dells. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then the one around here I ate at, and it was dog shit.
Yeah.
Everything was stale and shitty. And then I think Jackson and I did a like boys fishing trip in the Dells last year or 2 years ago, and we went there again, and I was just not impressed.
Yeah. Once you know what real barbecue is,
yeah,
then you eat like because I thought that Famous Dave's when it came here because that's pretty close to where my parents lived. It was like go there, be like this place is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like because you've never had like real barbecue. Then you
yeah.
start making stuff or eating at real places, and then you eat that, and you're like, this is terrible.
Yeah,
it's the same shit they got at Pick and Save.
Yeah,
you
really.
know, essentially. But it's I'd recommend going there for sure. What do you got there? A little toilet?
Yeah. So this
did you make that?
No.
Oh.
So this is. Do you remember Garbage Pail Kids?
Yeah.
So that's a Garbage Pail Kid, little baby stuck in a toilet.
Yeah. Where did this come from?
Where did I get that? I think Jesse got it for me.
Is that what you hold over your cards when you're playing poker?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You see me on the World Poker Tour with my baby in the toilet.
Just fiddling with your toilet baby? Is that a Garbage Pail Kid abortion style?
It might be. Very late term.
Yeah. Third trimester.
Yeah, my brother always had, like a binder full of the cards, the Garbage Pail Kids cards. I wonder if those are worth something
Jamie?
now. No, Brian.
Oh, yeah,
was like,
some of them are, for sure. They keep producing them, but all like the early ones, just like any of this shit now, it's all about grade. It's all about, what if you have those early 80s versions that are PSA 10s, they're definitely worth something.
Okay.
Did you ever see that Always Sunny where Charlie has all his Garbage Pail Kids?
Maybe.
Yeah. There's definitely some worth. I mean, any of that shit.
Sure.
Anything, that was collectible that is in good condition from a time where people just trashed fucking everything.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's going to be these kids get these cards and whatever it is now, they're going to grade it. Right. It's going to get out of a pack, put it into a sleeve, sent out to a grading service. It's going to come back. It's going to be in that case forever.
Right. It should never come out.
Yeah. So there's going to be grading is almost, I mean, it's not useless. It's probably the best way to know what you're buying from somebody else.
Yeah.
But everything's graded.
Sure.
Where
in the 80s, you like played with it.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard to have anything that's, in halfway decent condition.
Yeah.
You just ruined everything.
Right.
You used it, actually.
You carry it around in your pocket, show your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like you give your kids any type of cards, like my daughter or my nephew or anything like that. It's like, hey, here, check this out. They're like, oh, nice. You're just like, oh, stop what you're doing. You're
Jackson's
like, this is cool.
Actually really good with that.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets something, he immediately puts it in the binder. He's like, don't touch it. Don't
What does he
bend it.
fuck with?
So it's just Pokemon cards right now. And have you ever seen, there's like a kid's fruit snack, fruit roll thing that comes with a card. It's called like Fruit Bear or something.
No, I haven't seen it.
So it's great marketing. Each pack, each little roll comes with a card in it. So Jackson has a whole binder just for those.
Really?
Which I'm assuming they're worthless.
Useless, yeah.
But
well,
he
who
just
knows?
likes
You
collecting
never,
them.
yeah, you never know on that stuff too, because it's like the Pokemon stuff to start with was, I mean, actually, right when it came out, it was extremely popular, and you couldn't. Me and Shimo had my mom drive us to Toys R Us's around Wisconsin here to get the Series 1 Pokemon stuff when it came out.
Wow.
So you like get on the phone, start calling all these places to get it.
How old were you doing that?
13 to 12, 13.
Yeah.
I mean, we were already selling cards at card shows and stuff like
Really?
that. So you'd set up tables. They'd have, I mean, like if you go to a card show now, I went to one 2 weeks ago. If you guys are interested, I took Evie last time. if you and Jackson are interested in going to the one, be the first, was it first Saturday? Fuck, I might be working. But they'll have one in Oak Creek. It's probably a third of it's all Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you'll have to spend some money if you do that. So,
yeah, I don't think I would even go with the intention of buying anything, but
Sure.
it would be cool to just go and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me up. I might be interested.
Okay, yeah, he would be. It would just be so much to be like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. And I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about him either. It's interesting because my brother-in-law seems to know a bit, and we were over at their place for it was Christmas, and Jackson got Pokemon cards, and as he's opening them, it's fun to see someone who kind of understands the cards overlooking it with him.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, because Jackson just looks at like the health of the Pokemon. Oh,
Sure.
it's 200. This one's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's like starting to understand like hologram or holographic and
Sure.
diamond edition or whatever. All the different.
Man, I saw. Yeah, we used to set up at those shows, and I probably junked a bunch of them. But all those Series 1 ones that came out with like a case of those, I don't know what it is now. Like at the height, like 2021, when all the collectibles were booming, a case of that was like fucking $250,000.
Really?
Yeah, like a case of boxes.
Okay. Oh, so how many cards is that? How many cards are
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm I think I'm underselling it as well.
Okay.
But like Charizard, holographic Charizard is
it's like 20 grand or something.
Yeah, super expensive.
Yeah.
But I don't know any of the new stuff. All the new stuff is like there'll be like one chase card per like new set that they put out.
Yeah.
And even these last ones were going fucking nuts. They were filling up carts at Costco where they have the big box sets, and there'd be like people, like a line of people just waiting. They have a pallet of them, and they'd be like 5 apiece, and they just wipe it out like an ant colony.
Do you think that's like guaranteed profit? You buy that much?
Yeah. Well, none of these people are opening any of them or saving any of them. All that's
just getting resold on the internet
immediately. They're probably sold before they pick them up.
Sure, they got
a pre-sale on all these sets at 200%.
Yeah,
and I mean you could do it with all this shit. Is how much effort do you want to put in?
Yeah.
Is it worth it to you to stake out or find out where they're going to make deliveries at Walmart and Target and Meijer and whatever,
and be one of the first people there to grab it?
And you could make 20-30% on 30%. Let's say you get 30% on each box you buy. You got to pay eBay or whatever 18%. So is that 12% worth it? Can you do enough volume to make that worth your time?
Sure.
And it would be better for someone like you or someone who doesn't like it, like opening packs or it has any
temptation
past. Like me, I want to open it. I like the shit. So it's like, oh, cool. I could sell it, but this is going to take a lot of time to do this and blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
If you have zero attachment to it, just buy it all, sell it all.
Yeah.
Cash it in right away.
Yeah. Is that like the part of the card break thing you were talking about? Is that different?
People break retail stuff now, but I don't know. I would never buy into a retail break.
What do you mean a retail break?
Just retail stuff's all the stuff they have from Target, Walmart, whatever.
Okay.
So there's just like there's like 2 different classifications. The Pokemon stuff's different, but there's like a hobby box and a retail box. Okay. And then there's different variations of each one on each side.
So do different stores carry like retail boxes are going to be at those big box stores? Our hobby one's going to be at like
would be at
like a hobby store?
Basically, dude, if we went, there's like a decent card shop now up on like right where we were, right on, it's not Grandview. What's the cross street there?
Summit?
No. What is it?
St. Paul?
What was the simulator on? What road is that?
Oh, Silvernail.
Yeah, Silvernail. So right near that Mexican restaurant down there, there's a card shop there.
Okay.
They barely have any hobby anymore. You used to go to a card shop back in the day, it'd be all hobby.
You mean hobby as in classification?
All
of the card?
hobby boxes, that you could buy. Barely any place has hobby boxes anymore.
So where are those going? Are those just being sold before they even hit the store?
Those are going to, there's Dave and Adams, there's Steel City, there's a few other major distributors, online distributors. So you'd buy all, if you want a box, you'd probably pre-order it from there. And then all the other stuff is going straight to Breaker. So a Breaker would get 50 cases of whatever.
It's just somebody who's commercially just breaking over and over again and making money.
Yep.
It's a job.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
Yeah. Now it is for sure. I mean, the big operations, I think, like Leighton Sports Cards, the one I've used for like a decade. I haven't really used them all that much lately. I try not to mess with it all that much, but they'll be like, whatever product comes out, and I'm like, let's fuck around here, Yeah. But, I mean, there's apps. Fanatics Live is an app. It's just you open it up. It's nothing but people breaking. You swipe through all the thing. They make the shit so easy that I could tell this is not a good thing, for me. Just where you have a few drinks, you're like, oh, that's not too bad, boop, and then you win it, and you're like, oh shit, and then you could keep spending money. It's all linked to your card. There's no enter in your information each time. There's just done. 300, 500, 600, $50. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like gambling at that point, right? Because you're
at that point, it all is.
If you're buying a break like that, so how does the whole process of the break work? Are people watching you break it live?
Yep.
So you break it live, and then what? There's multiple people watching and like bidding on the break?
Yeah.
So it's just like an auction
so,
while you break it.
Depending on how it goes, so it'd be like, this is a football break. You buy a case of cards. I go up and I do one of two things. I say, hey, I got 32 teams. I'm going to random all these teams off. They're $150 per spot. You get whatever you get.
Yeah.
You want to buy 20 spots? You buy 20 spots. You probably got the 5 best teams because you bought a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
You want to buy one? You may get lucky and get the best team out of it. I've definitely done that before. Those are my favorite ones to do because you get like a baseline price. You're taking your first gamble is, do I get a team that's actually fucking worth it?
No, wait. When you say get a team, like, is there a guaranteed when you're opening these boxes? Is it all randomized? So you say, I just want the Eagles?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's two different styles. Okay. So you get a random team, then they'd sell all the spots, and then they would go, okay, you won the Eagles, you won the Saints, you won this team. So then they open
from that team?
Yeah, then they open all of the cards, and then whatever it is, you get those.
Okay.
From those teams. They do it where you can buy individual teams, but that's going to be more expensive. So it'd be like the Commanders this year. They're going to be the most expensive team because Jaden Daniels is a big-time quarterback. So all of his best cards are in his rookie season. So you'll pay for the Packers, you're going to pay $60. For the Commanders, you're going to pay $700.
Okay.
So if
there's no guarantee that there will ever even be a Commander
there
in
may
that
be
box?
nothing.
Okay.
But there's also, if you get the best Packer card, that may be a $500 card out of that. The best Commander card may be $100,000 card. You know what I mean?
So what does one of these packs cost the person selling it? Like,
what do they buy it for? You're saying?
I mean, is it all just essentially gambling, right? The guy buying it is gambling on that people are going to bid on the box, and then the people bidding on the box are gambling that something valuable will actually be in it.
Correct.
But how much is like a box like that? Do you know? Like
it all depends on the product.
So it depends on like where you're getting it from, or like.
Well, there's probably less of that now, or I'm sure most people go from distributors. Like when we used to do it, we used to get boxes for cheaper than you could get them from the distributor. How we did, I got no fucking clue. We met the guy through card shows and things like that. So he was like, he had a card shop. I don't see how it wasn't legitimate, like his method of getting these.
Fell off the back of a van.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything like shady at all. I never got that sense or anything like that because it was a constant flow.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Usually, like, I feel like a shadier situation's like, hey, I got 100 of these right now. Do you want them?
Right.
This was like, hey, this came out this week. I want that. You know what I mean? But like this, it was just like a shopping list.
Yeah.
So either he had the best connection pot ever for something shady, or he just had a good connection through his distributor.
Sure. Where he was still making money off it.
But I think now, like after 2020, after everything blew up, or like everything went absolutely apeshit at that point.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think everyone's probably going through actual distributors, going through the manufacturer, or going through, they have those deals with Steel City or Dave and Adams or Breakout or whatever the hell it's called. It's not the right name, but it's in that ballpark.
Are those
like,
just big companies or big distributors?
They're just like 4 or 5 big. Fanatics is another one too, but I think they are more on the retail side. I've never bought anything from them. But yeah, they've just been around for 20 years.
Okay.
They've been around for 20 years. They've been selling hobby for 20 years. So when I've bought individual boxes, that's who I've bought them through.
Okay.
Always. The bigger the retailer, the less like shadiness can be involved, even with any of this bullshit. So people are selling these breaks. My favorite way to do any of it is you buy into a break, you see the case is sealed, they cut open the case, they lay it out, they open it all out.
Yeah.
Some of these will be like half case, quarter case, blah, blah, blah.
Which might already be open.
You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. You could be selling 3 quarter cases because you went through, took each box, put it on a scale, weighed it, found out that this box weighs 55 grams, this one weighs 40. There's certain different types of cards that would weigh more, so you keep these. You sell the rest. You make 10% off the third, off the 3 that you had sold. You open the last one, see what you get out of it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's just a lot of fuckery that can be out there with it. And most people think like the breaker stuff is artificially boosting all the prices of you being able to buy a box.
Okay.
I bought a box of one of the most popular brands is Prism Football. Okay, so Prism, I bought a box in 2019, I made 2 or 3 boxes, regardless. They were like $110 a piece. Fast forward to today, a box is $1,300.
Wow.
So that's a pretty large difference in a 5-year period.
Yeah.
And I'm talking what to that price in 2020. Went from 110 to 1,000 in a year.
Yeah.
And people just keep paying these prices.
Was it COVID driven, you think? People being locked in their house collecting?
Yeah. Yep. Everything. Any crypto, cards, any type of collectibles all shot through the roof. I hate to say it because I don't know exact prices, but like Jordan, PSA 10 Jordan rookies, when I first started fucking with it, $10K. Yeah. Like, that's not cheap. It's a nice card.
Yeah.
They were going for like $500,000 for $100,000. Some, in these outrageous ranges.
Yeah.
There was guys in 2020 or 2021 that are $10 cards now that were selling for like $1,500 at the time.
Wow. So they dropped.
Yeah. But I mean, it's because it's like a guy comes out, he's incredible his rookie year. Like, this is the next best player of all time.
And then it doesn't pan out.
And then it doesn't do all that great the next year. And then you're sitting there and you're like, well, I'm at a 40% loss.
Yeah.
Like, there's no striking when the iron's hot anymore with this shit. It used to be, you'd see a guy, you'd be like, I think he's got a chance. I think he's pretty good. Put some money into him, and then maybe it would go up as he got better. Yeah. Now it's like, you're at the top of the mountain. All you can do is like hit your slow, like possible 4% gain over a few years.
Yeah.
Or you're most likely going to drop, half your money right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you get those cards before let's say, before their rookie year? I guess those cards don't exist, right? Because they're in like college ball. Do they make college cards?
Yeah, but they're basically collectors want you in your pro uniform and a pro licensed card.
Okay.
So there's people who make unlicensed stuff. It's way less popular.
Sure.
But it kind of, yeah, it's like it is crazy. You go to I went to that show 2 weeks ago. I might have went there before I came here. I don't even remember how it went, but there's kids walking around. There's 12-year-old kids walking around with 5-10 grand worth of shit.
Yeah.
Walking around like trying to make deals, and it's fun. I mean, it's funny and it's fun. I guess I like it, and it gives you like hope that it was extremely busy. So I was like, I always feel like this hobby is gonna die.
Yeah.
Because it's so pricey. I don't know how people are getting into it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we get dropped off at the bowling alley. Yeah, $10. We get picked up 4 hours later.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was that. You know, that obviously didn't have to last you the whole time, but you're making deals for $35, you know, with all your stuff.
Right.
You weren't making deals with thousands of dollars on the line with grown adults when you're a child.
Well, I mean, it's got to be, I would think a lot of those kids then maybe inherited something that got them into it, and then maybe they were able to sell something off to gain a little profit and then shift around.
I would assume most people either started right at, you know, if they got stuff, like they had a dad or someone who's into it, and then their dad got them into it when they were 5, right? Yeah. They're 12 now. So they had all this stuff from when they were younger, started flipping kind of some of that stuff.
Maybe collected in 2018, and then now they're...
And like, especially this area, if you were Giannis, if you had a lot of Giannis stuff, you know, 2013, I think, is his rookie year, something like that.
Yeah.
But all of his stuff is, you could get it for nothing when, you know, in 2013, 14, 15, you know, right in that range. It wasn't nothing, but you could get it for, you could get one of his best cards for $5,000 that now would be $100,000.
Sure.
You know, so all that stuff went up that much. So there was guys at the shows when I used to go back in that day that sold out in 2021 for $1 million, $2 million of just their whole collections, because they were in the game for 15 years prior. So they had, the way this shit usually works is you have, you know, $500 worth of stuff. You keep kind of adding to it, trading up, getting a little more, you know, it just keeps slowly building. So after that 10-year period, kind of dealing with some bigger items. So if you were making 50 grand a year 20 years ago, you had expendable income, you probably flip that into $5 million after, you know, once it hit. And if you were smart, you took some profit and still enjoyed what you were doing.
Sure.
Like Austin had probably had $250K worth of shit. 2021, he's like, I probably should sell this and pay my house off. I'm like, yeah, you should fucking do that right now. This isn't going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
But he's like, he's got a special mind for that kind of stuff as well. But obviously, like, I'm taking 0 mortgage and, you know, see what happens after that.
Yeah.
You've kind of set yourself up a little better.
Sure.
But easier said than done. Whenever anything's going really good, you're like, it's never going to end.
Yeah. It's just going to keep going up.
I'll just sell it all and never work again. And people told me to sell before, you know, I've done it in many different things.
Yeah.
And never take profits.
Yeah.
The dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
Just someone's got to sit you down. Like, hey, take profits.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
You always don't consider it.
Yeah.
Things are so good.
Well, yeah, that's like crypto and everything, right? Like there's points where everything was so high, or, you know, NFTs or whatever. You're like, nice. This is just going to always be, I got my hands on whatever, and this is going to turn into, and then it doesn't. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I should have sold this, or I shouldn't have sold this, or whatever.
Well, it's with that stuff was even crazier too, because if you made a few good moves in the beginning, you could tell yourself the story that all the bad moves you're making now, because you've already made your profit. Hopefully you took your profit, in whatever you were up, in whatever coin you were up. At the time, you're like, all right, well, I'm just taking moonshots here because I want to fucking hit.
Yeah.
So you take 6 moonshots, none of them hit, and you didn't take your profit from your original thing that got you some money.
Yeah.
And then that drops, and now you're like, oh, okay, now I'm down 20K.
Yeah.
Opposed to if I just would have took my profits, I would have been up 5 with my 5 failed moonshots.
Yeah, I mean, it is just gambling, right? Like, it's just this gamble.
What's the difference between any of it?
Yeah, no, it's all the same, I think.
Stock,
right.
Like I put a G into some quantum computing stock.
Yeah.
That was, up I 40% in like a week margin. Yeah. And I was like, all right, same shit. Smart person would sell half of their shit off. At that point, you're going to be take $700, $600 out of it, keep the rest, and then you've mitigated some risk.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, here's the problem. When you don't need the money.
Yeah.
If you don't need the money, you're like, why not take the big home run swing?
Yeah.
Let's see if this retires me in 10 years or whatever. So now it's down probably 30% of what I bought at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know I've came up with this idea previously. It's probably not the right way to do it, but if you're not going to take profits like a smart person, then you need to only make investments that are going to hurt if you don't do it. Okay, so like if $1,000 doesn't hurt you, don't even make that investment.
Right, because you're not going to treat it with what it deserves.
Yeah. So is 10 grand going to hurt you?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you'll take your 20% profit out of your 10 grand because
it's a bigger hit if you lose it.
Yeah, because you can't lose it.
Yeah.
It's not financial advice because it's a terrible advice, but like someone like me, that's almost how I need to operate.
Sure.
But again, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the value in making, right? You invest in something and you make $100 in 6 months. You're like,
for sure.
What the fuck am I even doing?
For sure. That's why I broken record. Just everything. Everything is a marathon. Everything.
Yeah.
Like if I've made all these decisions with home run swings and yet almost nothing to show for it.
Right.
Where if you just would have been steady Freddy with everything, you would have been, 200K up where you're at now.
Well, it's like that's the mature adult's view, right? Like,
sure.
You go through your teens and your 20s and maybe even like your early 30s where you're just like swinging for the fences.
I'm still swinging for the fences.
But then there's stuff in your life, like fitness and things like that, where you realize like, oh, this is a grind.
Yeah.
Get a little better every day.
There's nothing that doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
Unless you're super smart and you have an edge on something that you can take an acute victory on, there's nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
If you're of average intelligence and have zero in on whatever you're doing, anything special information that you have on anybody else, you're not smarter than anybody. You're not outwitting anybody here. Fucking take that long term view because
play the long game.
You're going to get fucking smoked by the guy who's running the game.
Right.
At some point here.
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
I'll learn that someday though.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming?
Yeah.
It's going to come down like a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Watched a pretty cool movie last night. Watched most of it. Have you ever heard of The Gorge? It's now that I say it out loud, it sounds like you ever see the movie Seven?
Yes.
It'd be funny if that was like the guy that was force fed and they just called it The Gorge.
The Gorge. Just that fat fucker who ate himself like SpaghettiOs to death.
They make a whole movie of him just being fed.
That part of that movie disgusts. Like it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
It gives me a weird feeling actually.
Yeah, it's very
compared to all the other like murders are all like don't make me feel like that. Like that feels like the evilest version
Yeah.
of any of the things that were done.
Yeah, well, there's like the whole knife on the end of the strap on. Seems pretty intense too.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, oh, for sure. Intense, but it's also like,
maybe quicker.
I guess I don't know how to explain it.
But yeah, being force-fed sounds horrific.
But I said it without thinking of all the deaths because that one guy's just in a bed, just rotting for like a year, right?
Well, I think that guy's in a chair. When they come in, oh, you mean that's a different guy.
Was there a guy where they had all the...
I think he starves a guy
who's
like in a bed. And they think he's dead and they like touch him and he wakes up and it's basically a skeleton.
Yeah. That's probably just as bad as the food thing.
Well, anything that's slow.
Maybe the food thing is the best one. Not that I said.
Well, it's almost like a slow drowning, right? Like a slow suffocation is happening to you. Like force feeding is wild. Yeah. Just like his whole body's expanded.
I guess I know the feeling of being too full. Yeah. It just makes you feel like, oh, just like imagine that like plus 10 till you are finished.
I don't think it'd be possible to do that to someone, right? Your body would reject it.
You'd start throwing stuff up.
You would think so. I mean, unless
if
you saw the behind the scenes, of if that actually happened, like maybe there's a science, right? Well, I can feed this guy 8,000 calories a day at the steady clip for 6 months.
Yeah.
And he won't throw it up. And I'll sew his asshole shut.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I would say you're probably, if you're completely
just like everything, it's a marathon.
Yeah. If it's just completely sedentary, you're just in one spot, just consuming.
You just become part of the chair. Your skin just starts to latch on.
Yeah.
Your bed sores heal into the chair.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
So the movie The Gorge, which isn't about that, is, do you know who Miles Teller is?
I know the name. I'm sure if you show me a picture, I'd know.
We might have talked about this other movie I'm going to reference before, but have you ever seen Whiplash, the drummer movie?
No. Oh, I know who the guy is, though. Yeah.
The main guy?
Yep.
So he's in it, and you know who Anya Taylor-Joy is?
Nope. Too many names.
Have you ever seen The Menu?
I stick at 2 names.
Have you seen The Menu?
The red-haired girl?
I think she has red hair. She's like the main character, and then they go to that island.
Yep.
So she's in it, and Miles Teller's in it.
Okay.
And it's about, he's like ex-military, and he gets offered some job, and he goes to this secret military installation, and his job is to like, there's a gorge, which is like this huge cavern in front of this tower that he's in. And his job is to he's like, so what are we supposed to keep things out of here? And the guy's like, no, you just got to keep what's in the gorge. You can't let it out. And then it's just like
horror movie?
It kind of, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Annihilation with Natalie Portman?
Maybe.
They go into like the shimmer in that movie. And then like once they get in there, like there's DNA has now morphed with everything. So like a crocodile morphs with a tree, and like all these things inside of the shimmer are like changing and evolving.
The shimmer sounds familiar, but you know how many movies I've watched while drinking, and then I've like
not remembered it.
Yeah, like the idea is some sort of, it sounds familiar, but then it's like I've had, a few drinks, and then I just don't remember. I had a few drinks. I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, well, that never existed.
I'm pretty sure I was around for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I haven't finished it yet, but it looks really cool.
It's on Netflix?
No, it's an Apple TV movie.
Oh. I just got rid of Apple and HBO, and I think that's it.
You ever watch Slow Horses?
I did start watching. I watched like one season of it. For whatever reason, doesn't grab me all that much. I love it.
Gary Oldman's so awesome.
No, it's not bad. It's just I suppose like the genre for a series is not enough to hold me for multiple.
Yeah.
Are you watching Severance on?
I've never watched Severance.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, watch that.
Okay. That's got the brother from Step Brothers, right? The dickhead brother?
Yeah. Yeah, so I watched the first season when I had Apple TV.
Okay.
That, but I'll probably, Apple TV's not that expensive. I'll probably just wait. Like, maybe I'll wait till fall of next year and then get it for a month and binge a bunch of shit. Because that's the one thing I don't like about them is they have, it's week by week.
Yeah. They make you kind of stick around and pay for the subscription.
Sure.
If you want to be up to date.
There's another good show with that dude's a therapist.
Oh yeah, Shrinking.
Yeah.
With Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And not Jason Sudeikis. No,
not Sudeikis. But I know.
The guy from I Love You, Man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that show's pretty good too. But as soon as that last episode came out, then I pulled the plug on that.
Yeah, what did you reference that I was thinking of?
Was it the 60-year-old woman in a pink and black zebra snowsuit shooting a TikTok video on the corner right up by your house?
No.
Yeah.
Is that real?
That was happening, yeah.
That's near here that happened?
Yeah, in front of that park.
Grandview Park? No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
No.
I've never seen such an old woman.
You saw the woman doing it?
Yeah. She put her phone on
Wait,
fire.
you saw this on the internet or you were near her while
I just walked past. I drove past it when I was coming in. She had she had her phone set up on the fire hydrant, making a TikTok in her pink and black zebra snowsuit.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
I had. If I would have had 2 more minutes, I just would have pulled over and see what was was to come of it. But
should have been like, I'll get this angle for you.
She'd be like, I got you, baby.
Just waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I've been watching.
Oh, I know what I was thinking earlier today. So I think you've kind of cursed yourself here. So now you're making your voice available so much that they'll be able to basically make you say
whatever they want. Yeah.
And you've sent your DNA out there.
Sure. They're going
to be. So, yeah, you're whatever.
I'm really curious to see what they do with it. Big old me. They're going to do some cool shit, huh?
If they need to set you up for something.
Yeah.
You're just absolutely fucking done for.
Well, I look forward to that. I can only be so privileged to have myself cloned or copied, even just digitally. That'd be interesting.
Just to see I was thinking of how much of your own voice you want out there.
Yeah.
Was what I would obviously.
Right.
What is
I don't think AI even needs that much.
Now, yeah, probably not now.
Yeah. I mean, before this, there was none of my voice out there.
Sure.
I don't use social media. I don't use anything.
That's what I was saying or thinking about myself as well. I was like, I have 0 points to lock on to.
Yeah.
Except for this now.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, he's got that out there. I'm like, oh, they have his DNA too?
Yeah.
Fuck. They got every piece of information that they need at this point.
You could probably start a really good landscaping company if you
just
made a bunch of me.
Just made 10 of you.
Yeah.
Just uploaded the brain into you.
Yeah. I helped my brother-in-law recently with some landscaping, and I'm the oldest one there.
Sure.
And I've done
ripping it out.
Yeah, 12 hours of straight labor, shoveling, hauling bricks. And my brother's like, dude, you should stop. I'm like, no, this isn't done
Your
yet.
brother-in-law is a salesman, though, too.
Sure.
So,
yeah, it's the different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a stay-at-home dad for the last 5 years, so.
True. I remember I worked with a dude. He had to be 50 years old when I first started. And we had a project to do on a Saturday, and I was struggling to keep up with him, and I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
And in halfway decent shape, but it was he was fucking absolute monster. You just looked at me, you're like, geez, you're built for this, you know. I mean, nothing special, but he's just
grind.
Just did it for the last 30 years.
Laboring his whole life. He's just used to it. It's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know my brother-in-law was saying he was doing some work, and Jesse's dad, my father-in-law, was there for something, and Jordan went to pick something up. He's like, I can't move this. Jesse's dad's 64 or something.
Yeah,
and he walks. He's 6'3", probably I don't know, 210, and he just walks over to this boulder and just picks it up and walks away with it. And my brother-in-law told me the story. He's like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
that he just looked like it didn't phase him at all. He's like, I couldn't even move it.
Yeah, that's my dad's going to be 70 next week, and he's still pretty strong for his age for sure. When you see him, like, we're working on a car or whatever, be like, okay, I'm like, get the fuck out, let me do this. He's still like, but he worked for 50 years, 45 years doing manual, meted tool and die stuff, but still doing,
worked with his hands his whole life.
Yeah, so he's got that like
old
innate
man
strength that's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, until he like sits down for a year and then it'll all disappear, right? Like,
sure.
I feel like you hear of like people getting to that age who just like become sedentary for a period of time, and then it's like everything falls apart. It's like, just keep moving.
Yep.
Keep doing things.
Yeah, you got to. As soon as you stop the motion, you're fucking done.
Yeah.
So is this not going to record on the screen?
Oh, I actually didn't turn that. The screen is recording.
Okay.
I just didn't put that up.
Okay. No, not that you need to. I was just curious.
I should, in the event that we pull something up that we can watch together.
So what time you gotta go at? Noon?
Yeah, so I'd probably want to wrap here by like 11:30.
Okay.
Make sure this volume's down so we're not stuck watching some. Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable with like the editing and
still enjoying it opposed
I like
to
it.
Last week.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's cool. It's me essentially rewatching Us, which, I don't particularly like listening to or looking at myself.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to
Did Jessie fuck with this again yet or not?
No. I've been talking to her about it. I was like, I'd like to do something with you. And she's like, I don't want to be on video. She's like, maybe just audio. I was like, yeah, we could do that. I don't care.
Whatever.
So I ordered a dictionary / thesaurus.
Okay.
So that should be here next time we record.
Rip it out for a couple pages or whatever each time.
So I was looking at the difference between like just the dictionary. I know in the past you brought up the dictionary. I thought of the thesaurus would be a cool idea. So when I looked at the like mixed, like Merriam-Webster's mixture book, it's cool because it shows you the word, the definition, and then it shows you like all the synonymous words.
Yeah.
Which for me is very fun to think of, like, oh, that's a word. Just in my glancing at it, I don't remember what the word was, but I saw it, and then I saw the synonymous words, and I was like, oh, that's just great. Nobody uses that word.
Yeah.
Like, I want to start like inserting these words into my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Shit that someone hasn't used in like 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I see all these like clips or posts that are like, oh, these like words, instead of using these words, use these words or whatever. I don't know if I brought this up with you before or when we were doing this, but it was basically said just like improving your vocabulary just like teaches you how to think better because you can specify your thoughts more concisely.
You're thinking of where to place words too, right? Like you're like, there's an economy of words happening.
Sure.
Where you are like, oh, is this the best way to describe this in the fewest words possible?
Yeah, just being ultra specific, but not even speaking.
Right.
Just thinking, just the way that you go about it. If you can be ultra precise and the way you're thinking helps you become smarter. Sure. Just in that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in that. So if we get a little something out of it as well as some sort of entertainment value.
Yeah. Yeah, that stuff's very interesting to me. Like language, the use of words, the meaning of words, I think it all comes, a lot of that's like human psychology stuff too. I really enjoy that. Like the way that people think, even just like shitty vocabulary, you see these videos of someone who just has some garbage vocabulary. Like, oh, that's just there's no way that person's smart. Right?
Sure.
Like you see somebody whose vocabulary is just broken for whatever the reason is that they're not smart. They just aren't. And you can see it. But then you don't want to be the guy who like uses words and you're like, oh, this pretentious prick.
Sure.
Is throwing out this word that no one uses.
And that's what I was trying to, that's always been my problem is I was worried that I may come across that way at some points. as pretentious.
On this?
No, just in life.
Oh, if you focused on that?
But again, like I said, I'm trying to just give zero fucks.
Yeah.
I want to talk this way, so fuck you.
Well, I think
I'll talk this way just because I like it. Because I'm going to. If you don't like it, then that's fine. There's a benefit to me, and whatever.
Yeah.
Why am I changing the way I want to communicate, without it being offensive?
Yeah.
Because, I'm afraid you may look upon me a certain way.
Yeah. Well, I think there's more to it than that, right? Because you're in small doses. All right, let's say you just meet somebody for a minute or two and you start talking like that. Their impression of you might be like, oh, that guy's kind of just like pretentious. Or somebody might be like, wow, that guy's really intelligent or whatever.
Sure.
But anybody who you actually spend time with, if you start talking that way, they know so much more about you than just the words you use. They're not going to be like, oh, Bryan started talking like a fucking...
yeah.
Like he's in a Shakespeare play.
Who's this guy think he fucking is? Yeah.
For who art thou? Yeah. I like... When I discover a new word, I'll like obsess on it for a little while. It'll like run through my head for a few days, and then I try to like use it.
So, what's the most recent? Is there?
I don't know. Just the thing is, I don't have a great memory with like referencing to, like, even when we were at the Super Bowl party and I was talking about being in Walmart with Scotty P, and Marcus is like, well, what did he say? I'm like, I don't know. I just remember.
Oh, yeah.
So I have an issue with like specifics in my memory.
Sure.
But like something can trigger like a very specific thing for me and be like, oh, now I remember all of this.
Yeah, you're remembering a feeling.
Yeah.
So
it's a memory of a memory.
It wasn't a specific actual thing. It was your feeling.
Right.
Why
I remember
you
how
have
I
the
felt.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just talking about this at work where I don't know why I said, hey, what was your first memory? So what was your first memory? Do you know what the thing is, no matter what it is, it's not wrong.
Right.
Because whatever you come up with is really your first memory. You may be able to find a memory previously to that once you think of that.
Yeah.
But whatever you tell me right now is your first memory.
Yeah.
And what I found by asking people this is there's always an emotion attached to that. And what else I found, because I'm stupid, so I just randomly asked this one guy this. And then after I ask him that, I go ask 10 more people in a row. And I start doing basically a census around.
Getting metadata?
Just to see. I was like, well, what's the deal with it? It's usually a Thursday or Friday when I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
I start going around asking people that. I got to think what the other one was. I had two of them. One of them was just a joke one. I just randomly posed the question to people. We're going to get back to what your first memory is.
Okay.
But I just randomly posed a question to people like, hey, do you think Rigo has a kite? and just me saying that influenced you enough you would go, yeah, he probably has a kite. Why would this guy bring up, does he have a kite?
Right.
If out of nowhere, no one does that.
Right. He's asking me this because there's a kite around.
But that's exactly what happened. I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
I just started asking people if they thought this guy had a kite.
Yeah.
And only one person said after I did that he didn't have a kite.
Yeah.
So it was like 92% by the end of it.
Did you ask Rigo if he had a kite?
I don't even remember why it started. I think I told him what I was going to do previous, and I just kept updating him throughout the day. But, dude, everyone thinks you're a kite flying motherfucker. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. You look like you fly a kite. That's it.
That's awesome. I think just because that's so random and such an abstract idea, that would be a fun thing to just build off of. You could build like more ridiculous questions like that. Well, because like with what you know about Rigo, right? Like he's a single guy in his 30s.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, does he have a kite?
Yeah, I think I kind of worked that in somehow.
Yeah.
As well. I know we were talking shit for him not showing up. He didn't go to work all week.
Oh, really? For his back?
Yeah.
It was pretty serious.
I guess so. He spent a whole week off of work.
Wow.
I mean, that's not cheap
No.
to do. But I tried to get him to go to that chiropractor that I want to, but
Not having it?
I think most people you're like in one or two camps. Most people don't have a neutral stance either.
Yeah.
You're like, these guys are fucking quacks.
Fucking quacks. Yeah.
Or they're, like lifesavers.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm neutral. I think a lot of them probably do nothing.
Yeah.
But like treatments added to it are
Sure.
probably the thing that do something. But I've had great results.
Yeah.
I send everyone else that has had like a continuous problem to this guy, and he always helps him out. So I hope he went and actually got a shit going.
Yeah.
Sitting around for a week without any like kind of result, that's not a good sign. I talked to him on Friday, and I was like, yeah, like now my leg's starting to get all fucked up. I'm like, dude, you gotta like
do something.
Be proactive with this shit. Like sitting around ain't gonna be doing it.
No. Yeah. Some kind of stretches or something.
So what's the first memory?
So
contemplate.
Yeah, I've already been thinking about it. It's like a weird, it's like a dream, right? Like some of the memory doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
what do you think age-wise?
Like 1.
Whoa,
or
what?
2.
Really? Okay, so this would be the youngest I've heard so far.
I mean, I have this weird memory, and maybe it's something I've built.
Yes.
So my whole story is, I'm adopted.
Yeah.
Me and my sister were essentially abandoned, and the cops found us, So I have this weird memory of, it's like I know it's not in a water tower, but it's like I'm in a room for whatever reason, it's connected to a water tower. And it's like my mom leaving us there, like me and my sister.
Really?
So I don't know if that's something that's just been constructed based on the information.
Could be, but it's also,
given.
like I said, everything's been attached to
a feeling, which is
strong emotion.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of everyone I talk to.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I don't know. It's like my memory is garbage anyway, but that one, I've always thought of that. And I feel like I've had dreams about it, and I've remembered this specific scenario with this specific rug on the floor, and there's all these weird pieces in it that are always there in the memory.
Yeah.
But I don't clearly remember.
Were you advanced as a child, do you think? When you were younger?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea if you did things earlier than other kids or whatever?
I have no idea.
I was
adopted when I was 2, right?
Yeah.
So it's all that developmental, and then I was in foster homes, all that stuff. Nobody's tracking my advancement at that point. They're let's find this kid a house.
Yeah.
So it's my parents told me that I used to smuggle food. So my adoptive parents said that they would find me with a summer sausage under my pillow.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming I was just not fed.
Yeah.
So I just
later on, I'm going to need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this weird. So I try to factor a lot of that into the way I see things now. I'm sure there's some crazy effect.
Feast and famine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just on the way that I deal with emotional stuff or loss or whatever.
Sure.
There's these things. They say that mothers who are abused while the baby's in their stomach, the baby gets some
transfers.
Effect.
Yeah.
So it's I'm sure 0 to 2, there was a bunch of weird transferring happening
Dexter.
there. Yeah.
You have a Dexter backstory.
Yeah. So yeah, that stuff's interesting to me. But yeah, what's your earliest memory?
Mine is the opposite of yours. It was but mine's not. Most people I've seen have been said 3, 4, 5 type of deal. Mine was being in it could have been 3. It was preschool and you my dad around the classroom.
Okay.
I think I had you had to hammer something.
Yeah.
That's my the first thing I can remember.
Okay.
From that, I thought there was some sort of, because I think like I said, he's worked with his hands his whole life. I think the like, hey, look, I use a hammer too.
Like proud.
Fucking check it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a dude too.
Yeah.
You know, type of deal. I think that's what like set that one in. And it's funny because I say, you know, your first memory, regardless of it, it's not a wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
Because it's your first memory. I keep feeling like, but for whatever reason, I feel like that's not right.
Sure.
Like there is something there that I can't like, that's like, floating in the wind that I can't just quite grab at.
You mean the memory? Like the pieces of it and what it...
Yeah, something else that's previous that's there, but
Sure.
that's the first like online moment.
Yeah.
But that's why I was asking if maybe you were more advanced or whatever, younger.
Yeah.
Just because you had like your brain turned online.
Yeah, it was probably just trauma.
That's what, but does it matter?
Sure.
You know, does traumatic... What's the equivalent of a positive, something positive that puts you online and something negative that puts you online? You're both like, it's almost like the ice bath or the sauna or whatever, right?
Good inflammation versus bad inflammation.
Yeah.
It's still inflamed.
So you're still shocking the system, but in what way are you doing that?
Sure. Well, I think also there's stuff where like there's patches that are gone in my memory. I'm sure my brain's just like, we're not going to let you
access this.
Remember that, this isn't good for you to even know that this happened.
Yeah,
so it's
for
like,
sure.
I have inklings of like horrible memories, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure my brain just gets, and I let it. I'm like, yeah, good job, brain.
Yeah.
I don't want to dig into this one.
Yeah, keep up. Yeah, what use would it be?
Right. Yeah, I mean, unless you're doing some like crazy psychological dive or you're super comfortable being in your own head where you're like actually exploring, which is probably good and bad depending on what you're going to do with it.
I guess I always try to think of what the use of whatever emotion or diving into whatever new type of information is. Like, okay, is this just for fun? Is this you're trying to gain something? Like, what are you doing?
Closure or confronting something?
Yeah.
I think that's what it would have to be.
Is closure even real? I mean, as in, like, what does it actually...
Yeah,
it's kind of like getting that last word in, right?
Sure.
You know, just like a fucking like, it helps you, like, makes you happy in the moment, but it does like zero for the. I guess I don't know.
Is it almost like confirmation biased, right? You're like, that's right, I did.
Yeah, it's just being right.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, could be. Yeah, I don't know. I do think like digging into that stuff's interesting. I've always had this theory, or I shouldn't say theory. I've always kind of had this belief system that like bad shit happening to you, a lot of the time can be very good for you. I had a lot of horrible shit not happen to me through like my teenage years. I wouldn't have met certain people that put me in a certain position to take this path. Like you could actually, I remember when I've said this to Jesse, I've said it to a girl that I dated when I was like 18, like, had this A, B, C, and D not happened, I wouldn't be here with you right now. So it's like I like looking at like where I am and then like piecing back like the forks in the road that got me there. And like, oh, that's kind of cool to think like I don't want that to have happened to me. That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That sent me to whatever, a boys' home. But now that happened, C and D and E happened, and now I'm in a position that I like my life. And maybe I could have liked my life without that happening, but I try to look at like bad decisions I've made, dumb shit I've done, and then like where I am now, like, oh yeah, that's all good.
Sure.
It's all good that it happened.
Yeah, if you can use it in a positive, use anything in a positive way, and it doesn't have to be negative to start with to use it in a positive way.
Sure.
I was telling this one dude at work, has been in a relationship for 5 years. He just got into one, and I'm trying to like walk him through, like, you gotta fucking chill it. Like, yes, I understand you really like this person, blah, 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 but you're fucking like putting it on heavy as fuck right now. A lot of people get scared off from your type of behavior right now. Yeah. Guess what? That happened.
And she just bailed. It's too much, smothered her.
Yeah, but then I'm like, hey, that's because the reason this happened is because this was practice for the fucking next one.
Yeah.
You've learned your lessons of, hey, you go too hard like this, it ain't going to work out. Maybe if that's your feeling towards somebody, you're like, well, I got to do this. This is how I feel. probably not the right way to approach a relationship.
Right now, it was like an
sure. So now he's in another relationship. Now it's going much better, but it's like the first one happened for a reason. So each of these, if anything that happens, if you're learning a lesson from it and you think you've improved from that, then then how could anything that's happened to you actually be negative?
Yeah.
Same thing when you're saying like, oh, you remember that time we went camping and fucking stormed the whole weekend and blah, blah, blah. And it's a shitty trip. But that's like the story that's like put in your head too. It's like another, not a badge or a notch in your belt or whatever, but it is something you've endured.
Yeah.
That always seemed like those are the stories.
Right.
You know, it's not like, well, we went there and it was great. It was a great time and the fire started right away and then we hung out. And,
nobody remembers that
it's
shit.
like you've done 50 of those opposed to the 6 times it turned out terrible.
Yeah, there's a dad that I talked to at Cub Scouts who was telling me about another guy there who was saying something about he's now like in the dating world again. He's older.
Yeah.
And he was complaining like, oh, it's like they're drilling me and they're interviewing me or something. And the guy that I was talking to said like, I told him like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what a date is. It's an interview.
Yeah.
They're interviewing you.
Yeah.
They're basically seeing like, do you fit, 8 out of 10 boxes for me to move forward with this?
Sure.
Like, I never thought about it like that, but I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are essentially just looking into who you are. Are you lying? Are you honest? Are you putting on airs?
Yeah. What he doesn't realize is it's always been that.
Sure.
Just you were so young the last time you were doing it, you didn't know.
Right.
And you barely had anything. Think about like kids in high school dating. What's special about you? You know, what experience have you had? You're like, oh, I wrestled for 3 years.
Right.
And this, I'm 16 years old.
I got a cool
That's
dad.
it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have a Civic. And I wrestle. That's it. That's your interview. Interview over. That's fucking it.
I have HBO and my parents let me stay out late. I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you had to do. Now you've added all these different life aspects upon it where it's like, you're still doing the same thing.
Right.
And
now you're like, I have an ex-wife and 3 kids.
Yeah, now there's just tons of baggage. There's just more baggage than there is. Let's sort through the shit to see if this is worth it. Yeah. Because all of that baggage is that just more stuff you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Good or bad, depending on what type of person you are, if you're interested in that or whatever.
Did I tell you the story about when you were talking about like camping and storming when Jackson and I went on that boys fishing trip and we got caught in the storm?
You told me, but I didn't remember it.
We go to Mirror Lake in the Dells. So we get up to our Airbnb, we unpack.
Go to Famous Dave's.
He wants, we did eat at Famous Dave's. Yeah. So we go to Mirror Lake. It's, I don't know, like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. We're pulling up and you can see like clouds rolling in. And I look up the weather and I'm like, it's going to rain a little, but it's a fishing trip. He wants to fish right away. We pull into Mirror Lakes and it's like a long drive in. Mirror Lake's a campground with the lake way in the back of the campground. So you got to drive through this big park, long drive. And as we're pulling in, I see like clouds rolling in. I'm like, I tell him, I was like, let's just cast a few times, see what happens. We get out of the truck, we grab our poles, and we start walking, and my phone starts going off. So I pull out my phone, and it's like, tornado warning. Yeah. Seek shelter now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, buddy, we got to go. By the time we get in the truck, branches are flying on the truck. Like, we start driving out of there, you can't see anything. So it's just like, we're driving through like a tunnel of trees. And everything's just falling, leaves blowing. You see people walking and they're like waving. I'm like, I'm not stopping. Like I need to go somewhere with my, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And we drive out of there. The house is only like 3 miles away. It's close, but it's one of the craziest. And I have to like put on airs. Sure. That everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, are we going to die?
Yeah.
He's in the back seat just freaking out because like it feels like we're in a tornado. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
There's branches. There's you can't see a foot in front of the car. So I'm thinking about pulling over. I see like a campground that has like a little shop. I was like, maybe we should just go there to have something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, we're going to make it back. So then we start driving and then I find a bridge. So I pull under the bridge and I'm like, I'll wait here.
I think they say not to do that.
It didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
So I'm under this bridge and I was like, this doesn't feel good either. And I'm trying to like look up the weather and nothing's coming up on my phone. And I'm like, all right, we just got to go. So then I just drove like 8 miles an hour back to our place and we like ran inside and and there's no basement there. So he's shitting his pants about that.
Yeah.
It's like this little A-frame house with no basement.
Yeah, that's what I was like even curious when you were speaking. I was like, all right, a campground place or just like a truck? Like, what's actually better? It's like,
what's the
I
difference?
feel like I'd almost want to be in a truck.
At least I can move.
Where if something is not looking great immediately in front of me, if you're in that place, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're just there.
I'm in a shack.
Yeah, you're just there. Hopefully there's something to hide underneath.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably is safer there, but how old was he?
He was like 6.
Okay. So that won't be his first memory.
No, he talks about
it.
He doesn't like that memory.
It is a core memory, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, now he's like scared of storms. When storms are coming around, he's like, "Oh no, we got to get out of here." Now he's just traumatized forever.
We did this, not the same exact thing, but we were on when my childhood dog was a puppy. We were on a paddle boat in the middle of a lake. It was like me, my sister, my dad, and the dog. And we were like, wait, you know how fast a fucking paddle boat can go, especially when you have a grown man, but then children.
Sure.
And
3 miles an hour.
He can't like go faster.
Right.
Well, maybe you could. For whatever reason, I was like, if you paddle one side, would you just go in a circle? But maybe, I think it's one drive.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I guess you could. But
I grew up with a paddle boat. My parents owned a paddle boat.
Oh, did they? They're paddle boat people?
Yeah. It's a rare.
Oh, that makes sense. It really explains a lot about you and your childhood. They're paddle boat people. Cool.
We didn't just rent them.
Yeah, no, we had one. What type of paddle boat you got, bro? No, but we were stuck in the middle of the lake, and we were like 300 yards, like 3 football fields off when it was started like monsooning, and the puppy jumped off the boat and swam back to shore.
He's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, like we were moving it was like too much for him.
Yeah.
But I was like, this dog is fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like, it's just he was like, I don't know, probably 12 weeks old or something like that.
Like, there's no way this thing can stay in the water for that distance.
And my dad was like, he's fine. It's a dog. Like, dogs know, he knows what he's doing. And he just fucking, we were here. He was on the front. He was just like he got to the shore in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just sitting there waiting, just like getting pelted.
Yeah.
But like he made it up. But that was like one of our traumatizing weather stories as a kid. Yeah. Especially when you think your new puppy's gonna die in the lake. But
yeah, there's a lot of shit happening in that story. I remember we were at Ottawa Lake as kids, and my parents had, along with their paddle boat, they had the camper that sat in the back of a pickup truck bed.
Yeah.
Like went over the
Those are cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would always take that out there and like do a beach day at Ottawa. And then that's like your little home base. You got a kitchen, you got a table, bathroom. A tornado came there one time and we like just went in the camper.
Yeah.
And it's like blowing dumpsters around the parking lot that we're in. And we're just like waiting to get this like
Plus now you're like a wind sail too.
Right.
Like you're not
big box.
Yeah, you're not aerodynamic at all.
Yeah. Everything was fine.
Yeah, that's how a lot of poors die.
Yeah. Yeah, with their washcloths. Have you seen Tom Segura's theory on washcloths and pores?
No.
He's like, only poor people use washcloths.
Yeah.
He's like, did you use a washcloth growing up? You're
like,
I don't know. I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't poor.
I was poor. But you had a paddle boat. So
yeah.
Couldn't be all
poor.
that bad. It's the paddle boat family.
But yeah, as soon as I got a real job, the washcloths just got burned.
I was amazed how, like, being married, I was amazed how cheap a loofah was. Like, I was like, oh, boy, I'm just going to throw these loofahs away? Like, I'm a fucking millionaire? Then I was like, I was on a trip. I went to go get a loofah. It was $2.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I should be getting rid of these, like, once a month. Yeah. I'm keeping them till they're, like, that long, just gangly. Because I'm like, the loofah's got to be $20.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't used a loofah in so long.
I'm
a bar of soap on my skin guy.
Irish Spring?
Dove.
Oh, fancy boy. Paddle boat and Dove.
I do like Irish Spring. We have gone on Irish Spring kicks. Where it's almost like
it's on sale at Costco.
Yeah, I mean
700 bars for $8.
I think Kirkland actually makes like Dove bars without the Dove on them.
Sure.
Just like they make the vodka
Sure.
without the
goose
on it.
Yeah. They're anti-bird.
Yeah.
Costco.
Yeah. No doves, no geese.
Yeah. Fuck it.
I'm pretty anti-bird myself.
Well,
I don't care about birds.
hollow bones.
I don't want them by me.
I love to ingest them, but
Yeah, I like eating birds.
and their
I guess I'm pretty
and their unfertilized eggs.
I'm so anti-bird. I eat them all the time.
Constantly. Michelle is super afraid of birds.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. I just don't like them.
You ever go to the aviary?
Yeah, the kids got shat upon.
In the zoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kennedy got shit on her face.
Have you ever been there when they feed them?
I don't know.
It's fucking awesome, actually.
Are they flying everywhere? Are they crazy?
Yeah. It's just a fiasco on there. Like, I don't think they tell you when they're going to do it. I don't think they allow you there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they advertise it. But we've gone in there before where they have, they throwing all the stuff, and they got some of those are like meat eating birds and stuff. And they're just like dive bombing all around. Like, it's insane. They're like flying super fast, and they're in 100% control, but you don't know what's going on, and you're just like tiptoeing through the area. Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. It
is crazy to think of how much more. I think of this with a lot of animals: dogs, cats, birds. Their senses are so much better than ours. It's like I always think about like a tennis ball. I could have thrown a tennis ball at my dog's face from 5 feet away, and he will catch it with his mouth.
Sure.
I couldn't dodge a tennis ball from 5. I'm going to get hit with a tennis ball.
Sure. That's the same thing as you catching it with your hand, though.
Right.
What's the difference?
Right. Which I'm not going to do. Not if that's incredible.
Sure.
Somebody whipping a tennis ball at me from 5 feet away, there's no chance.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these soccer goalies would get a hand on it.
Sure. Have you ever seen, they have, they'll have like street tests for it, but then I think they had it like the NFL, the NFL All-Star game thing this year, but it's like a horseshoe. You're standing in front of it, and then there's like 10 things that fall from it. So they'll be like,
you have to catch them?
They're kind of like cylindrical shaped.
Yeah,
type
like a baton
things
that you would pass in a race.
Yeah, so they'll just be like F1 drivers are supposed to be super good at it or whatever, but they just randomly fall at different.
Yeah, can you catch them?
Yeah, I'd like to try that just to see where you could actually, where your reaction time would be at.
I saw a video online the other day of a dad he's like holding $1 against a door.
Yeah.
And he tells his son, if you can catch this $1 with your forehead, I'll buy you anything you want.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so rare that because he's only like a foot above where the kid's face is.
Yeah.
So the odds of you getting there at the exact right, plus your head bounces off the door if you go too fast. He drops it and the kid gets it. And the dad's just like, fuck, because he promised him whatever he wanted.
Sure.
I was like, oh, it's pretty great. Maybe it's just luck. Or reaction time, but
yeah,
that's like one of those things.
It's like dropping the quarter in the water thing and make it land on one of those pedestals.
Oh, yeah.
At Taco Bell and get a free.
And then it just
Nacho Supreme. Yeah. There's got to be some way to there's some scientist, some guy who understands physics super well who's just like, you just got to
you spin it like this from this angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's. Have you ever played the arcade game? It's like a scissor game. It's called Barber Shop or Barber Cut. You'll see it at different arcades.
Nope.
So I used to be the master of this game. I would go to Country Springs, and I would go there just to play that game at their arcade. I'd walk in as if I'm going to the water, past the hotel clerk, past the water park, and just into their arcade.
Yes.
And they would have. I've won iPods. I've won cameras.
Really?
Yeah. So the trick is, if you can find one that actually has, the way the game is designed is there's ropes with objects hanging.
Okay, I know.
And then you have to stop the scissors in 2 directions, this way, and then this way, and then there's like a 1/4 inch where the blade will connect.
Yeah.
You need to get it to stop right on the rope. I was very good at this, so I would do it anytime I saw one. I was like, I'm putting $100 in there, and I'm getting something out of this. So you need the weight of the object to actually be on the rope, because the tension of the rope is what makes it. Otherwise, if it's not tensioned, the scissors will just bend the rope.
Gotcha.
So a lot of places did that for years, and then they wised up. And what they do now is there's a bar in there, and they run a string down to the bar, tie it around that, give it a little slack, and then run the object off the bar. So the weight is
now,
the tension's down here.
Yeah.
It's not up here.
Yeah.
So right away I know then, because like another thing they'll do is they'll have like a PS4 in there. Well, it's an empty box.
Yeah.
It's not enough weight to tension the rope.
Sure.
So they'll go, oh, if you win, let us know and we'll grab it for you. It's like, well, that's a fucking scam now.
Sure, you're never going to win that one.
And then you'll see a lot of the ropes are just solid ropes still. Like I've come across some that they're really frayed. I'm like, all I got to do is hit that like 5 times and that's going to fall.
So how did you become a master of
I just kept fucking with it. Every time I would see it, I'd do it. And then I think I dumped like $20 into it once.
Yeah.
And I won like a $250 iPod.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. And then the next time I saw it, I was like, all right, I'll dump 50 in. And I won like a really nice camera. And then just kept doing it.
Are there any other carny games that you have knacked for?
No, I don't think there's anything else that I really nailed. Because another one that I've seen that I've tried and I've never had success is there's, it almost looks like a vending machine. And it's a big glass window. And there will be a little plastic like a barrier in front of each object. So they'll have whatever you're going to win behind the barrier. And then you have what you're controlling. It looks like a key. It's like a key-shaped plastic thing. It comes up. You press one button to come up, press another button to come over. When you let go, it goes forward. If it goes perfectly in the slot, it pushes the item out and down. I've never been able to. There's been so many times where I've messed with it and be like, I think I can get it. And then you just get it by like an eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
It taps the side and you don't get it. And you're like, fuck this.
Operation.
Yeah. But that's like because it's 2-axis, because you're going up and over. Like it'd be one thing if they were like, hey, it's always in line this way. Perfect. You just need to stop it. But like with both of those things being factored in and you're just holding a button and letting go and then it stops. It's like the idea of you being able to get that. You'd have to almost be like, do it enough times that you set a timer on your phone and be like, all right, this level is exactly 3.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And now I know that's good. And now this is, and like, you put enough money into it and time, I'm sure you could figure it out. But it's like, is there $1,000 worth of prizes in there that you really care about?
Yeah. Is there, you have a Switch?
Yeah.
You have an Xbox as well?
Yeah.
Do you use that or not?
Yeah, I was playing Xbox yesterday with Jackson.
Okay. Do you do anything in between your sets of working out?
No.
Do you take a rest period between things?
I take timed. Well, I just do timed rest.
Like which is what?
2 minutes for light weights and 3 minutes for bigger stuff.
Okay. There's a game I started playing. You can play it for Switch or for Xbox. It's called Civilization 7.
Oh, does that a play on the old Civilization game?
Yes.
I used to love that game.
Yeah, so I never played any of these games at all.
That's like 90s. That's like old PC.
But I read a quick review on it, and I remember Jake used to play it when he lived with me. Whatever one that one was, 5 maybe or whatever. It was supposed to be a really big release, so I was like, yeah, we'll see, whatever. And then I just ended up, I think I downloaded it on Monday, actually. It's awesome.
Okay.
I love it.
Are you just building a civilization from the ground up?
Yep, but it's pretty complicated. There's a lot of stuff. I told the guys that were like, I'm playing it. I know I'm not doing well. Like, I know I'm not like hitting all the things I need to hit to be like, be doing this good.
Yeah.
At least I don't think I am. Maybe I am and I just got lucky.
Well, or you're just learning, right?
Sure. But it's fun, and it's the perfect game to play with like a pause in your exercise routine.
Well, all my stuff's in the garage too, right?
Sure.
So it's like,
well, you take the Switch out there.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
I just don't like the idea. I never really give in to the temptation to take my attention off of what I'm doing. So
what do you do for the 2 minutes?
I just have a TV on in there. So when I'm working out, I just have a movie playing, and then if there's a scene coming up that I feel like I really want to see or a show that I'm really into, like I'll pause it for my set. Be like, I know I want to watch this.
Sure.
So yeah, I just have something running.
Sure.
So a lot of the time that's me finding a show that I'm going to watch solo, because like there's shows Jesse and I watch together.
Yeah.
And then like if I want to watch like Oz, or The Wire, like, all right, I'll throw that on out here. That's kind of a just for me show.
Sure.
And then you get into a show enough, like you get motivated. You're like, dude, I can't wait to work out tomorrow. I get to watch another episode of that show.
I'll do that on the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching Parasite again.
Oh, nice.
On the bike, which I think is a pretty good movie.
I agree.
The one I saw that was awesome, they used to have it was a cardio room at Gold's Gym.
Is it the theater room?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
So
and then you could go get the Fat Elvis milkshake and cancel out everything you did that day.
Yeah, I don't think I used to always so cheap.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah, I can't buy any of that stuff.
Oh, it's 1,000 calories and I get 40 grams of protein.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah. But they had played Cinderella Man in there, and that for whatever reason, that movie is like the perfect like motivation. So I'm kind of using the music motivation for the actual work, and then I would be playing Clash of Clans, not right? Clash Royale on my phone, then I started playing this, and it's the fucking perfect game for it.
So what do? You have like 2 minutes to go collect resources and then come back and do a set?
Yeah, it'll basically be like there's nothing like happening unless you're doing something, right? It'll be like, okay, here's this event. Like this guy wants to ally with you or wants to use your trade routes or wants to blah, blah, blah. Your city is ready for production of these types of things. Yeah. This decision's going to make your town more happier, but lower production.
So it's just slow, like delegating of different.
It's a million, and there's a million things. That's why I said I can't be doing it good.
Yeah.
Because there's so many questions that I'm not really thinking about. I'm like, that sounds good. That, you know what I mean? It just going along. But like building it up so you can play. I do 4 minutes between everything I do. So I hit stop, hit my timer.
Yeah.
4 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, the alarm goes off. I don't do it anymore. I go walk back over, do what I was going to do, and then come back afterwards. But it's like a perfect, like,
little
it's
break.
like time traveling.
Sure.
Because I'm like constantly doing my thing because I don't even know what it is with this game. But I played it for an hour and a half the first time I played it, and I felt like I was doing it for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like legitimately, just like.
Is it just because you're constantly like making decisions?
I don't know. I guess but it's pretty. I like it. So
Okay.
if you're like you said, you played the original one or some of the original ones, I'm sure you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not going to use it for that purpose.
That'd also be a fun game to introduce Jackson to. I feel like some of the more complex games he does pretty well with.
Yeah.
Like Zelda. It's like Zelda. He was playing Zelda when he was like 4. Like Breath of the Wild's a pretty intense game, and you're playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzles in it.
And it's a long form game, right?
Yeah.
You're building this character. I think at that age, normally kids are just like
want a quick fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would play this, and I was pretty active with him. Anytime he would play for like the first like year, it was him and I playing together.
Sure.
So if there was something that was too hard, I'd be like, oh, I'll do this, and then I'll do it, and he'll watch, and then he'll slowly collect. It was to the point where like he had a character. I got so into it, so he had his character that him and I did together, and then when he would go to sleep, I started my own.
Did you beat that game?
And yeah, I think we beat it. Because then there's Tears of the Kingdom, which I don't think we beat. Yep, he plays Tears of the Kingdom now. So yeah, he's I created my own, and then I would forget to log out of it, and he would turn it on, and he'd be like, "Hey, why's my guy got all this good stuff?
Yeah,
well, he's got all this armor now," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, buddy."
Yeah,
it's like I had to hide that I was creating this other character to not like betray him.
Sure.
He's like, this is our guy.
Yeah, I know the same thing. It's like, well, we got to just sign out of this real quick. And yeah. I told Evie about that game. I was like, here. She's like, you don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
She's like, I want a game that's like fun where you like do something.
Yeah.
I get it.
Sure.
100. And I didn't think I would like it just for that fact either. I kind of talked myself into it.
I think it takes like some commitment to get invested. And then once you are, you're like, oh yeah, now I got to go sell these rocks to this guy to drop him in the fairy pond to get the special helmet. And
sure.
There's a lot of steps to it. But I like that. I like that he has gotten into that.
Some sort of patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of just
gimme, TikTok, fucking Fortnite.
Sure. I mean, it is kind of the exact opposite of that stuff. But does he play Fortnite too?
No.
Oh, he doesn't?
We don't let him.
Oh, just because of...
I just think it's like overstimulating wild shit. I mean, I'm sure it's great. So he has one game that's kind of like that. It's called like Animal Battle or something. and you're just like these tiny, it's basically the same game. It's a ripoff, but it's not as like intense, stimulating, crazy colors. It's not in the cultural, because like Fortnite like keeps up with cultural changes, you know. Now you can be Snoop, now you can be whoever's popular.
Sure.
You probably be Jake Paul in boxing gloves now, right? Like it just keeps.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know. I try to like mitigate his exposure to things that I know are just going to suck him in, like take his soul.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this is all I want to do now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I let him play video games, but I try to keep it somewhat limited, I guess. I don't know. And like shooter games, I try to be careful with, right? I don't want him to. I love Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ever play it around him. You know, he's seen me play it once or twice. I don't know I don't know if it's the right decision for me to keep him sheltered from all of that, because he is like already now he's so innocent and he's so sweet. Like the other day I had a movie on when I was riding the Peloton, and he comes in and like there's a scene with blood and he's like, oh, and he like covers his eyes and like leaves the room.
Yeah.
So he like doesn't want any part of that stuff.
Sure.
But then he'll watch UFC fights with me where someone has like their forehead wide open.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just because it's like organized violence and it's a sport, but then the idea of somebody actually hurting somebody against their will is upsetting to him.
Yeah. Well, it is, right? You kind of feel like, at least I know when I was younger too, it's like if it's an organized event, it feels safer.
Yeah.
Almost the way that I felt like prescription drugs were safe.
Right.
When I was a kid too, it's like doctor gives you, this is fine.
Yeah.
You abuse them if you want. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
doctor stuff.
Doctor said it's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe I take a couple too many, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It felt like that wasn't a real thing, or it's actually, you know, people. I don't know if has anyone died in UFC before.
I think maybe there has been
The
one or
original
two. Maybe
ones.
the old school.
Yeah, I mean, people have died in the boxing ring, plenty.
Yeah.
But it always felt, you know, when it's regulated like that, it feels
it's
different than a random act of violence.
Or a street fight. Like you see some of these street fight videos when someone's head hits the concrete, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Dude, that's what I was telling those guys at work. For whatever reason, a bunch of like stadium brawls comes up on my Twitter. Always. Just like,
your algorithm knows what you want to see.
Yeah. Bunch of stadium brawls, but some of them are like fucking crazy. You know, like
in America, or is this like European soccer
like
stadium?
Dodger Stadium, or like during the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like people are just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
In the middle of the bleachers around, 1,000 people are just around them.
Yeah.
While someone's getting like obliterated.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't stop and eat. You know, if two men are fighting or whatever, like that kind of is what it is. At some point, maybe someone's got to figure this out. But who wants to be the one who takes a random shot to the face because you're trying to
be the good guy, do the right thing?
Yeah.
I just had a conversation about doing the right thing with Jackson the other day. So he said there's a kid at his school at recess. He's like, he's walking around telling everyone F you. He's like, he says the F word. And I was like, the F word? He's like, yeah, F you. I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
These kids are, between 6 and 9.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah. He's like, his brother was there, and I told him. He's like, he's saying F you, and his brother's like, good job. And I was like, all right, buddy. And he's like, I thought about telling the teacher. I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I just don't think it's good that he's doing it. I was like, that's not your job. Your job is not to go make sure the teacher finds out that if that kid's hurting somebody or doing something violent, you go get a teacher.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be the kid. You don't want to be the kid
swearing. Yeah.
Just like you don't want to be the tattletale. You don't want to be the kid narking people out. It's not good for you.
Sure.
You understand the difference between real need for intervention and just false goodness shit that's going to get you alienated from your friends.
Yeah.
So he seemed to take it well. And then I repeated it again in front of him to Jesse. So I want it to stick.
Yeah.
Like the difference between the need to tell on someone and the need to get help.
Yeah. Well, it's also, it's it's kind of hard to figure out what's what to begin with, you know?
Well, at that age.
Punching someone and saying F you, the same thing, the same way that Dare told you that weed was the same as heroin at one point, you know? Like, not every, there's a degree of wrongness or whatever to each of these things. So you'll have to make those decisions as you go along.
When you think about like a kid's upbringing too, right? Like there's kids that get their asses whooped. or they watch their mom get their ass kicked, and they're like, yeah, that's normal. People hit people, and there's all these different variations of what a kid sees as needing.
Normal. Yeah.
It's like Jackson has a pretty good upbringing. I've never hit him. He's like, so he has this very innocent view on like how you talk to people and how you handle things.
His set point is his threshold of pain, societal pain, is very low.
Yeah, which is probably not great. I don't know. It's interesting. Did we talk about this last time about like me wanting to put him in martial arts?
Yeah, I don't know. No, we have talked about it. I don't know if you've talked about it on this or if you've just talked about it. I think you've talked about it multiple times.
Yeah. But yeah, he's on track to be a giant, and I'm worried that someone's going to fuck with him and he's going to dump a kid on his head.
Yeah.
And kill him, because when you're big and you don't understand what hurting people looks like, and then you finally get your breaking point and go, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. Fuck this kid. It's like, yeah, if you're 220, 6'3", dropping a 110-pound kid on his face, like that kid might die.
Sure.
So it's like you have to I want him to understand what he's capable of.
Sure.
If he gets big, because I think you can accidentally hurt people.
Sure.
If you don't understand what you're capable of. I think martial arts is like a very valuable way to understand what your body does.
Hey, he doesn't want to do it though, huh?
No, I think I missed the boat on him being interested.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't miss the boat on him doing it, because I don't think I'm going to leave it up to him.
Sure.
But I think I'm going to have to join to make him
do it
more
with
comfortable.
You. Yeah.
So it'll probably be jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, because I remember I was like a Ninja Turtle fanatic when I was a little kid too. So it was like, that's all I don't know why my parents never got me into any of it.
Yeah.
But all I wanted to do was Taekwondo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was like the coolest shit I could possibly fucking think of, was just doing karate stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's a time period too, like the late 80s or whatever. It was like everything was ninjas and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was like, this is
I
the
loved
best.
all that shit.
Yeah.
Kickboxer, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, everything
this
involved.
Guy's doing the splits between two chairs and fucking three guys up at the same time. He's incredible.
Yeah.
You watch it now and you're like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But then I like try to look at stuff through Jackson's eyes. So I'll show him some of those old movies where a guy's like, do you ever watch the IP Man movies?
No.
So IP Man's based on like a real martial artist that fought during like some war in China. I've watched those with him, and it's just a guy who just wrecks everybody.
Yeah.
And he's using like a mixture of like, I think he was one of the guys that trained Bruce Lee.
Okay.
So he used like a mixture of like Wing Chun and karate and all this stuff. You watch those with him, and I see it and go like, yeah, it's acting. It's cool. It's not realistic. This wouldn't happen. 5 guys would probably beat the fuck out of this guy.
Sure.
But through his eyes, I remember being a kid and watching that and being like, whoa, dude, could you imagine having that skill set?
Yeah,
10 guys rush you and you just wreck them.
Sure. This guy's an unstoppable machine.
He's a god.
Ass kicking.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I try to like see things that way with him or with both of the kids, and like try to remember what it was like to be that like innocent and gullible.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool when you're a kid and you see it that way. It's like very fun.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why ruin any of it?
Yeah.
Like trying to get, or anyone trying to, that's like the whole thing is that whenever you're a kid, you just want to grow up, and then for what? You want to, you want to realize
I want to stay up late.
That all the stuff you thought was fun isn't real.
Yeah.
You don't take any joy out of it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, just chill.
Yeah. Being an adult sucks most of the time.
Yeah.
I have to make decisions now.
70%.
I think that's what it is. I think it's when you're young, you don't get to make any choices. So you're like, I get to make all the choices. And then you get old and you're like, fuck, I have to make all the choices.
Yeah.
It's not awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people do like to make all the choices after a bit, though, too,
Yeah.
They start losing trust in anyone if you're not the one making those decisions.
Yeah.
But that's what I told Evie, too. I was like, fucking, you can choose whatever you want to do, but there's a consequence, either good or bad, to whatever your decisions are going to make. And I'm not going to stop you from any of those. Yeah. So do you want to stay up to do this or whatever? Or do you want to choose to do this activity or do whatever? There's going to be a negative or a positive to any of this. So you're old enough to start taking a little bit of control over.
I think that's a really cool way of parenting. I don't know if I would have the balls
Oh, obviously we're not talking limits of. She's like, I'm not going to school anymore.
I'm gonna fucking smoke crack today, Dad.
We're like, well, go ahead.
There's good and bad.
Yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
Sure, but I'm trying to like at least show like, hey, just like this previously to this, be like, regardless of what you do, there's almost zero consequence.
Yeah.
Really, like you may be in trouble for a little bit, but there's like zero long-term
it's not real
consequence to it.
Yeah.
It's even just like yeah, you can do that, go ahead. It's like but you got to spend your own money to do it. Well, do I want to really do that? Like fucking think about it.
Right. How bad do you want it?
Yeah. Is this something you want? Is getting this fucking chapstick from Kohl's the most important thing? Like, what does that do for you?
Right.
It's going to sit in the fucking drawer for
next to your other 8 chapsticks.
Yeah. There's nothing to it. So you can do what you want, but you'll live with the consequences one way or the other.
Sure.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
Do you think you influence that in a way? Like as much as you're being open to do what you want, there's a good and a bad. Do you think the way in which you present it has a bias? 100%. Yeah. So well, leaning into it.
The same thing as, do you think Rigo has a kite?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, when you talk about manipulation, it always comes across as a negative thing. And I don't know that it isn't always a negative thing, but it just is something that's a constant, regardless of what you're doing. And in any situation, there's some level of manipulation from one person to another.
Sure.
And just the way you're presenting something is just
your tone of voice, or the way that you, as much as you try to present something in an unbiased way, like there's leanings.
Yeah, I would say I'm almost always biased in one way or the other. It's almost never a net neutral situation, but it'd be like, I'll just explain it the way I want you to
think about it,
hear it, and then if that makes sense to you, then carry on. Like, she's got to have a basketball camp to go to tomorrow. Are your kids off tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah. These fucking kids never go to school.
I know.
But she's going to have basketball camp tomorrow. We signed her up for it. She doesn't want to go. And I spent like 5 minutes of me talking like I'm talking now to you about why, the outcomes of doing this well, in that, I'm proud of you. You're going out on your like kind of showing you all the positives of doing it.
Yeah.
And the negatives are nothing.
Right.
So what the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
They shouldn't even have, and hopefully eventually you figure out that.
Without us having to have this conversation.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's like when there's only a positive outcome.
Right.
Then there's no decision to be made.
Well, the negative is she's uncomfortable, right? It's new. It's different.
Sure.
Right. But that's figure out a way to get over that, as much as that sucks.
Sure. That's what I'm telling her too. It's like every time you do something that you're not comfortable doing, that raises the bar of what's comfortable next time. So you're able to like go, and you're building the whole marathon thing there too. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of do hard shit.
Yep.
Make yourself uncomfortable.
For sure.
It's good for you. You get in the ice bath at 5 a.m., for 3 minutes.
Did you go on it today?
No, I have it emptied right now. I had somebody come and look at the flooring in there. We've had sewer backup before.
Oh.
The flooring's all swollen. So I had somebody come take a look at it. I'm just trying to get a quote for my insurance and see how it all pans out. Maybe I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, man. Should probably wrap. I got to go to Jackson's soccer game in
all right, good. I got to pee.
20 minutes. All right.
Nice.
Till next time. Bye-bye.